Greetings, everyone. So, I wanted to get on here and talk about soul connections. I posted a post on my Instagram, and it basically was talking about how, we gravitate pretty much to people that feel like home. And sometimes feeling like home is not exactly where you're supposed to be, because what is that home environment feeling like for you? Because sometimes we gravitate to people who are not in our highest energy, our highest vibration. We vibrate to people or gravitate back to people who feel like home because they're familiar. And it could be familiar to your dark shadow side, which is not a bad thing, because you got to understand both sides. But that shadow element is a comfort zone to us. It's a comfortability. So we gravitate into that energy, and it pulls us in because we don't have to grow. We don't have to push ourselves to be better than who we are. We can stay right here. And when there's that energy that somebody might be requiring more of us, might be requiring for you to elevate, evolve, then it becomes friction. That's unknown territory for us. Oh, you're asking me to be something that I'm not already. So you have to really kind of go back and say, what is twin flame soulmate connections? Understand the definition of those and what that energy really represents in your life. I always say that you can have a billion, million, whatever, twin flames soulmate connection, because it's an energy thing. It's how you connect with someone. How are they connecting? It could be a familiar connection that you have from a previous life or a past experience. But there's an element in there that's going to gravitate the two people together. And that's cool. But you also have to operate in a space where you're paying attention and you're using discernment. Are you really examining the situation for what it is? Are you really taking your time to say, is this person in alignment with my highest good? And I'm not just talking about personal, like intimate relationships. This could be friendships. It could be business partnerships. It could be anyone that you are holding a connection with that affects your day-to-day life. So how are you connected to that person? What is the energy there for? What is the lesson that you're supposed to learn? If they're setting off triggers constantly, that doesn't mean that it's setting a trigger for you to grow. It might be a trigger that this is a different type of friction. So you have to even have the discernment and the understanding of what trigger is this really setting. Is this setting a trigger of growth or stagnant energy? And when you decide that or understand that, then you can move forward. You can understand, what's this relationship here for? Is this somebody I even need to be interacting with? 9 times out of 10, I always tell people, pay attention to what your body is doing. Our body is the major number one tool that we should be using in any connection, any power, any ritual. Nothing else. Your energy and your body and your vibration will tell you every time what it is that is going on. If you constantly, I remember I used to get sick when certain energy used to be around me. And I didn't understand why. Because that person has sick or, negative intentions or a certain type of energy that does not benefit me. So you have to start paying attention, be in tune with your body enough to say, is this person really supposed to be in my space? Is this somebody that I should really, be building on a relationship with, whatever that relationship is? Are they truly in alignment for my better self, my highest self, and what it is that I'm evolving into? Understand and know that. If you have to question when it comes to relationships, if you're questioning, is this person my true twin flame, if that's what you want to call it, that's an issue within itself. Because either that means that you're not ready for the type of connection that's supposed to be, or that person is not the person that you're thinking they are. We have to really learn how to evaluate and understand, like I said, what is a soulmate? What is a twin flame? Even understanding soul connections. You connect with people because they are familiar to your spirit. So understand what that really means. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're supposed to go into a relationship and this is the love of your life. They could, really truly be a detrimental person to your life if you're not paying attention. And anybody who is taken away from my happiness, you're a detriment at the end of the day. I don't care what no one says. The end of the day, if you are making me miss opportunities, like I said in my last video, if you're making me miss opportunities to tap into my greatest potential and my highest self, to be able to access part of my DNA that is going to put me in alignment with my highest vibration, you're a detriment. You're not supposed to be in my life. I'm not dealing with anybody on any level that is taking away from that energy. So you have to understand as you're moving through, understand as you're navigating your avatar, what they're there for. How are they supposed to be in your life? Don't go back to things that feel comfortable just because, they're familiar. I've been there, honey. And it is a very interesting journey. I had a soul connection that used to consistently repeat up and show up in my life at the most awkward time. Now, I always tell people, pay attention to when those people show up in your life. What do you have going on at that moment in time? It's almost like seeing angel numbers. There's certain people that show up in your life at certain times because they're there to remind you of a lesson or make you repeat a lesson that you didn't get the last time. And they're going to keep showing up and keep coming in your life until you get it. And that particular person, he used to keep coming in my life until I one day was like, wait a minute. I was in a different space. My vibration is different. So now when he was coming in my life, I was in a different space. So I'm like being still. And I'm watching. And I'm observing. Not committing to anything. Making sure that I'm paying attention to all the signs and the signals that I should have seen ahead of time. The first time he showed in my life. The second time. And you'll have those people. And sometimes people are like, oh, that's my soulmate. No, that's just a soul connection. Or you can look at it as a soulmate. But that's not the love of your life. If you truly love yourself and have an unconditional love for yourself, I always say that it will make you navigate differently. It will open your eyes to a whole nother understanding of what love is. And that in particular will show you when that you're going to pull someone in who is worthy and deserving of your time. And vice versa. Like you're able to give of yourself the way that you're supposed to. So don't get it confused. Sometimes it requires us to be patient. And a lot of times we don't have the patience. A lot of times that we get so caught up in this, illusion, thinking that we got to have it right now. Oh, I'm ready now. Are you? If I was able to present to you right now the man or woman of your dreams, are you ready? Have you done the work? Because if you've done the work, okay. But if you haven't done the work, I always feel it's divine timing. The thing that you most desire, the thing that you really are able to appreciate will show up at the exact time that it's supposed to. And exactly what you asked for and more. So you have to be patient. Don't rush things. Sometimes we rushing to get into these situations, business partnerships, relationships, etc., that are, slowing down the process, taking us off course. And it might be a small detour because we're going to always come back to what it is that we're supposed to be. But it's a detour. And imagine if you took the time to really commit to yourself. So when it's time for a different commitment, you'll experience it different. You'll appreciate it different. So that's my insight. I was trying to keep everything under 10 minutes. That's my insight on soul connections. Make sure you're paying attention. It's the really key thing. Pay attention, honey. It's not, it's complicated. It's not rocket science, as they say. It's really simple. We are complex beings, but it's very simple. We make it hard. All right. I love y'all. I hope you are walking in your purpose. Bye.